Hello everyone, this is Wale, Life Coach Disu. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Just wanted to do another video for you guys. I want to talk about this subject. Don't let failure keep you from succeeding. Don't let failure keep you from succeeding. I want to share 3 real life examples of different individuals that have come up against or experienced failure and how they dealt with it. So hopefully it will encourage you and inform you for your own lives, because I've seen this. There's 3 different things. One, where people are afraid. They let the fear of failure keep them from actually attempting to do what they really want to do. They're afraid that they'll fail. Have you ever been this way? I've been this way, where I've actually seen people on shows in the past where I felt bad for them. Like, I didn't want them to fail. And it's not a bad thing to not want people to fail, but it's almost so crippling and so paralyzing that you don't want to even attempt something. Like, oh, they shouldn't do that. I can't believe they did that. Feel embarrassed for them. So not allowing the fear of failure, to keep you from initiating something, to starting something out. Another thing is when people fail, they get embarrassed, and then they want to withdraw. Like, oh man, I'm so humiliated. I cannot believe that just happened. I'm not going to show my face again. The third thing is people saying, until I can guarantee, or someone can guarantee me that that's not going to happen again, I'm never going to fail again, I'm not going to attempt something else. I put myself out there and this happened and I quit. I think that we really become failures when we quit. You can fail, it's been said, successful people fail their way to success. They fail their way to success. And this was very encouraging for me, because, someone that wants to do speaking, and I've done some, speaking, coaching, whatever it is that you want to do, someone out there is doing it too. And when you look at them and you study their lives, it was very encouraging for me to see speakers that would stumble on their words, that would, they'll make mistakes, they'll draw a blank, they'll do misquotes, grammatical errors and things like that. They weren't perfect, but they kept going and they kept learning and getting better. So here are my 3 examples. The first one was a gentleman. He's in the rhythm and blues genre, or R&B, and his name is Neil. I don't know if he still does it, but he's a singer-songwriter. And I like to study people that do things, so songwriting was something that I do as well. But just to study what they do and just get inspiration from different things, different arenas. But it was interesting that he told a story of one of his past failures. And he was saying in this interview that, normally when you rehearse for something, things don't always go according to plan. But, one of the marks of a very good performer or entertainer, is someone that, or whoever, a professional, is someone that can, you don't have to expose to your audience when mistakes are made. You have to be able to learn how to play it off. Things will not be perfect, but you don't draw attention to that. Well, this day, and so many times when you're doing your routine, it doesn't go as planned, and you can play it off. But this day, he was doing his dance, doing whatever he was doing, and he was entertaining. And he got to the middle of the stage, and for some reason, there was an opening in the stage, and he talks about how he fell through it, and it was like a 5-foot drop opening. And there was no way to play it out because he was stuck in the stage and he was singing, and he had to tell people, you guys have to come and get me out of here. He said it was kind of embarrassing, but the show had to go on. If he had said, oh man, I can't believe I did that in front of thousands of people or millions of people, I'm never going to do this again, then he would have quit at that point. He also, this is another important thing, is that he learned to laugh out loud at himself. He learned to laugh out loud at himself, like, hey, it happens, and things like that. So that's one example. Another example is of a guy that didn't do so well and almost let his failure cause him to, miss out on future successes. His name was Vance Bushnell, and it's a book that I'm reading on effective speaking by Dale Carnegie. He tells the story of a guy who was working for a company called Equitable Assurance Society. It's like a life insurance group. I think they're still even active today. And he says that this guy did so well as an insurance agent that after 2 years he was making so much, he had so much success for himself, that the higher-ups and the corporate leaders said, hey, we want you to tell your story. We want you to be able to tell people what you're doing, how you're doing it, so they can model you and they can experience the same level of success or something similar to what you're experiencing. And so he felt, that would be a good way to add value to people. Also, it would be prestigious of him to be able to gain that kind of, you know, recognition, and he'll be more renowned by doing this. So they said, okay, we'll give you 20 minutes and you go ahead and give your speech. Well, in the book it talks about, and this is a tip for speakers, you know, he says, don't memorize your speech. Familiarize yourself with your speech, with what you want to talk about. But when we talk to people, we don't memorize our speeches. We don't say, well, I want to talk to you about something and I'm thinking about every word that I'm going to say. No, you think about the idea and then the words flow. So that's just a quick tip for speakers, is don't memorize your speech, don't cram it. But this guy didn't know that. I guess he didn't read the book. It wasn't out then. So he memorized his speech, he crammed it, and he went on. Well, what happened was when he went out to give his speech, nothing came out. His mind drew a blank. And so he took a few steps back. And he went to speak again, and nothing came out. And he took a few steps back. And he did this about 3 or 4 times. What he didn't know, that at the back of the stage, there was like a 4-foot drop, you know, and then there was a, you know, between the railings of the steps and the wall was like a 5-foot wide perimeter. And he fell down and fell through it. And the whole place went into an uproar. People were laughing. It says that it was so ridiculous that there was one guy that was sitting on his chair. He fell into the aisle laughing, tears flowing from his eyes. He was going, you know, everybody was like, this has never happened before and it's never happened since. Well, this guy was Vance Bushnell. He was very embarrassed, humiliated. After that happened, he wrote out his resignation letter. He was going to let failure keep him from future successes. You know, lucky for him, you know, the higher ups, his superiors, talked him out of it. You know, said, hey, don't do that, don't quit, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You know, he was so embarrassed. Well, after that, he went on to discover future successes. So if he had stopped then, he wouldn't have experienced the future successes. He became one of the best and prominent speakers in that industry. So last one would be my example. Now, this happened to me a while back when I started, you know, doing speaking. You know, I was given the opportunity to give a message at my church, and we're going to practice for 10 minutes. So I was there practicing with the leadership team to give my speech. Well, it was supposed to be a 10-minute speech, and the pressure of the time, we don't know what was going on. I started off well with my speech, but this is what happened. You know, this is something that some speakers have said, you know, but it truly happened to me. When I got up to speak, I was okay, but after a while, it was like while I was standing up, my mind sat down, checked out, says, I'm done. I don't want to, I don't have any parts to play in the speech anymore. I don't want to, you know, and then my mind was suggesting to me, I think, Wally, you might want to sit down too. It was so crazy. It was very embarrassing. Like my mind went blank. You know, it may have just been a few seconds, maybe a minute's tops, but it felt like it went on for hours. That silence. You know, I had a choice in that moment. What would I do with that failure? Would I keep going or would I quit? Well, I kept going. I prayed about it and I kept pressing on. I kept going. Well, I finished my speech. People, you know, gave me a lot of, you know, good reviews, you know, and they said a lot of good comments. You know, encouraged me. But my point of the matter is, you know, a lot of people that face those kind of failures, and you let it paralyze them and they don't keep going forward, or just the fear of the thought of even experiencing something like that will cripple them. So if you're that kind of person, I want to tell you to not allow failure to keep you from succeeding, because everyone that is successful has failed and continues to do so, and that's the way we grow. You know, you won't tell a baby that is trying to walk, hey, you've been stumbling, you've been falling, you need to quit trying to walk. Stop it. Just be happy with crawling. Don't try to walk. No, you're not going to do that. Same way with us. So I hope something I said today has encouraged you, you know, and has brought much value to you. I truly believe that, you know, I want to see a world where people are living and working purposefully. In order to do that, you know, we have to push past fear to do those things that we want to do. If you do need a life coach, you know, you can contact me, you know, share, comment, and like this if you do like this video. And I truly want to see you all at the top. Until next time, this is Life Coach Disu Wale saying have a great day. Bye.